So my name is Raj. I am the founder and CEO of Diistil. By background, I was an investment banker for 15 years, and then I decided to start Diistil in 2021. So Diistil, we focus on unique distillates and bespoke spirits. And the way we think about our company is focusing on the hospitality industry and focusing in particular on that head bartender or the bar director. That may sound a bit obvious. You've got a spirits business, you're serving alcohol. Why aren't you focused on the hospitality industry? But I think a lot of companies make their products for a variety of different people, and that's okay. An analogy I like to use is it broke my heart when I found out I wasn't Apple's target customer, right? So I own every Apple product known to mankind. And then someone in marketing told me that, by the way, Raj, you're not actually their target customer. Apple targets kind of on the one side hardcore kind of technical engineers or programmers, on the other side, much more heavily creative designers and illustrators. They make products that those very specialized users love and use, and that cascades down. And that's why their products are so great. So we've kind of taken the same approach, and we're like, well, who makes the best drinks? Who makes the best drinks experiences? We all love, even if you love drinking at home, everyone loves the experience of going to a high quality bar, high quality cocktail bar. So we've targeted our audience and focused the company on the ideal customer being that really creative bartender, head bartender that you find at most of the venues that we all love. Distill comes from, obviously, we all know what distillation is. We wanted to stand out from just the normal word, and so we added an extra I. We kind of talk about a few reasons for why the extra I is there. One is for intelligence, so we're kind of a bit forward on the technological and the R&D side. The other is individual, because we're all about allowing every individual to have the drink as kind of as much choice over how they create their drinks as possible. Whether that's a bartender creating that serve for their customers, or whether that's an individual at home being able to personalize how they consume their spirits, and that's where the name came from. Well, I saw a gap in the industry, and I decided that I wanted to, have a chance to kind of change that. I was doing my old career in banking. I enjoyed that a lot. I did it for 15 years. And I also, at the time, was advising a lot of companies looking to change and improve other verticals like healthcare, technology, mobility. And I thought, well, why don't someone do that in the spirits industry? And I've always been passionate about spirits. I'm not going to, deny that. I've been, I enjoy alcohol responsibly. And I thought, well, why not mix a passion with work? And for me, the timing question always comes down to, well, why did you start it in 2021 when we really started Distill? And obviously we only launched this year, but we started in 2021. And for me, it was becoming a father. So I'm a proud father to a little girl, and she was born. I looked at her and I said, I've got to do something way better, way more meaningful, and something where I can actually have more control over my time. I probably work just as hard as I did in my former role, but I can have more flexibility over doing that, and I can spend more time with her. So that's why. But really, the core part of the company, apart from my passion, is to really make things better so people can enjoy drinks better whilst they're out and about, and also at home. Apart from myself, we have two other full-time members. Maxwell Whitney, who's our head distiller, who is a bit of a creative and flavor genius, as well as being a lovely guy. He has a background of 12 plus years in both bartending and distilling. And we were extremely fortunate that he was so excited by the project that he wanted to join us. And then we also have Michael Boyd, who is our distilling and operations manager, who is 20 plus years in hospitality doing a variety of roles. And the way I describe it to people is, Max is the guy who focuses on the distilling side, and also, to be honest, on the sales side as well, because he has a lot of relationships with the bartenders and knows exactly what they want. I, as CEO, kind of do everything and nothing. So everything from strategy and kind of meetings, but also, a bit of getting my hands dirty all the time as well. And then Michael does everything else. So Michael is one of those guys that every team wants, needs, and is lucky to have, where you can just rely on to get things done, and he does everything brilliantly. So I'm really proud with the team. And then besides the core team of myself, Max, and Michael, We obviously work with some external partners and external consultants, etc. But we're really happy with the team we've got. So we serve our customers in two ways. So one is we talk about providing flavor gaps in the market that don't exist. So currently we have 6 distillates. The way to describe a distillate is think of it as a single botanical distilled spirit. So we use London Dry rules. So nothing goes in the product post distillation, apart from water to kind of recut the ABV. And we are bringing products to market in a way that they haven't been bought for. So let me explain. So as you can see, we've got 6 SKUs behind me currently, which are available to everyone. They're available on our website online. They're also available to all our hospitality clients. You've got products like yuzu and vanilla, for example, which have been done very well before. There's some great products already that serve yuzu and vanilla in alcoholic format. We're doing it slightly differently. We're taking the flavor only comes from distillation. So whilst those other products out there may have a bit of sugar in them, they may add some flavorings or indeed natural ingredients post distillation. So you might get a more of a liqueur or a syrupy type texture. Ours is much more high fidelity flavor. It's a bit more subtle. And so you kind of enjoy the flavor without it becoming overbearing. On the other hand, if you look at some of the other SKUs, things like jalapeno, beetroot, black tea, and soy sauce, you know, those products I'd hazard a guess saying pretty much don't exist anywhere right now in alcoholic format. And you know, some of those like jalapeno or black tea, they might exist in an infusion format, but certainly in a a pure distilled format, those flavors just don't exist. So we see ourselves as bringing and bridging a flavor gap that doesn't exist to both bartenders, but also to at-home, cocktail enthusiasts. And then the really exciting part of the business, which is really where we see the future and where we focus on, is bespoke. And so that is, I should add, typically for B2B only. But what we've done is we create and can create pretty much any flavor you want. So whether that's a single flavor, like a distillate again, like we've talked about, or an entire gin vodka recipe, or just an entire uncategorized spirit, however you want, in as little as 50 bottles. Okay, and not only do you get the benefits of the science and technology that we've put into producing our products, but you get the cool brand. We do everything co-branded, and most importantly, which I found is the one that really stands out to our clients, is the fact that you only need to do a 50-bottle order, which really opens up those possibilities. And so, for example, I'll give one of our clients examples. We already sell the black tea and made available to everyone, but the One Aldwych Hotel came to us and they said, look, we want to make an Earl Grey distillate because we need it for one of our signature cocktails. And so therefore, using a specific Earl Grey tea that they wanted, we were able to make a bespoke, One Aldwych X Distill, distillate. And like I said, on the bespoke side, we're currently, Max and Michael and the team are deep R&D right now on a couple of really exciting things, which we'll be bringing to market for our customers over the next few weeks and months. So really proud of our brands. I wanted to showcase one of them, which is the jalapeno. First of all, shout out to one of our partners, which is My Hospitality, which helped design the branding and the logo, etc. So first of all, this is the jalapeno. As you can see, the window. So each bottle has a bit of custom artwork which shines through the back of the bottle. And so you can see that at the front. In terms of what you see on the front, you can see it's quite minimalist. These are distillates, which is why it has the word distillate running around the side. When we bring out spirits, you'll notice it will say spirits. We start off on the side with some simple serve. So if you're picking this off the shelf, you automatically know what to use it with in a very simple way. And then we have some legal information, but also we talk about each of our core distillates that we sell to everyone being numbered. So this is number 2. You can see minimalist from the front, and we're trying to get a lot of the effect from the back. So maybe you can see it on camera, but the custom artwork shining through the bottle. Again, on the side, we have on the neck, we start off with, again, mini serves and some distiller's notes. So I'll read them out because I love the one on the jalapeno, which is savor the flavor without the heat. So one of the most commonly asked questions I get on the jalapeno is this spicy? And the answer is actually no, it tastes like jalapeno, but because it's not infused, it's vacuum distilled. The flavor of the jalapeno comes across, but without the spice. And then on the back, we have a poem for each distillate. So each individual distillate has their own kind of Tinder date type description, which I find quite funny. And then there's a load of each one is hand signed. There's a QR code that gets you to our website, and this one is fresh, so I will take off the seal. But we also, if you look at it without the seal, it's a very easy open glass closure bottle. So we kind of really enjoy it and we really like it, and we think it resonates well. And if we're encouraging you to collect them all, so we number them all. So the whole idea is you line them up on your cabinet in with all the numbers. You can collect the whole collection. Deciding on which six took probably another 3 months as to why we delayed, or not delayed, but why it, added 3 months extra to that launch period. So we experimented a lot, and so we probably have more than that now. But at the time we were deciding on these six, we had about 50 different flavors that we distilled and combinations of that. And the key thing was deciding what would stand out and what would actually be that gap for the bartender. So it wasn't just a case of what might be popular, but if there's already a lot of products that serve that market, like citrus is a common one, right? A lot of people like citrusy type products, but there's lots of great products out there. So yes, you've got the yuzu, but that's different, right? And so it was actually thinking about, well, what hasn't necessarily been done, but people would like to happen. And that was also based on feedback from the industry. And you've seen that given the take up of our products as well, because there are a number of products that, not everyone wants all six, right? But depending on the theme of the bar, guess what? The kind of Asian fusion slash Japanese type venues love the yuzu and the soy sauce, right? Things like the vanilla and the black tea and jalapeno, can you be surprised? Can kind of find ourselves in a lot of places. Beetroot is very popular with people, say, from Eastern Europe who love that kind of cuisine. For example, my wife is originally from Eastern Europe, and so she's Ukrainian, and so she loves, and some of her friends love the beetroot. So it kind of varies. There are some cultural and taste palettes that come through that, but the idea was to find gaps and then use those to sell. So we use natural ingredients. So there's a lot of R&D that goes into our products. And a shout out to another partner of ours. I can't name them all, but we worked with the University of Nottingham in our early days. They have a food innovation center, and they are some of the best, flavor scientists, flavor chemists. Although all our production is done in-house in our own lab with our own team, we do rely on the science. And so without giving away all our secrets, one of the reasons there's a gap between starting the company and launching was all that R&D that went into our products. And so I talked about London dry rules, about adding nothing post-distillation. At the same time, out of all our products, they all come from the natural ingredient. So you take the natural ingredient, they are prepared pre-distillation in a certain proprietary way that we think maximizes the flavor. And then they are distilled predominantly under vacuum distillation. We also have a pot still as well. So we vary things. Some are just pot still, some are vacuum, some are both. In terms of the products you can see up here, they're all double vacuum distilled. Again, there's a proprietary methodology in terms of that distillation technique and how much pressure and so on, and kind of the guidelines of how that's done. But what you're left with then is a high fidelity of flavor, and so there really is nothing artificial in these products. And you're getting. It sounds simple, but you're basically getting that individual, product, that the vegetable or the fruit, as it were, just distilled with alcohol and nothing else. Our biggest reward is the satisfaction we see when we see our customers enjoying our products. But that aside, we were at the conference I mentioned yesterday, the Bread and Jam Fest. It was a drink summit, great conference. Shout out to them. Shout out also to GS1 who sponsored part of the event. But we put our products on display. There was 80 brands who had displayed their products at the event, and everyone at the event could vote for their favorite tasting product. And we won. So that we're fresh off that. So as you can tell, I'm smiling still. But it's great to. That's also really rewarding because it shows myself, it shows the team that the products we're making do resonate with people, and particularly because the attendees at this conference were all from the drinks industry. They were other drinks brands, they were advisors or consultants or retailers, from the industry. So to get that kind of feedback, kind of meant a lot. So we're still celebrating that one. There's always room in the industry for innovation. So we see it in other worlds of how things don't stand still. And actually the best companies, I'm going to use my favorite company again, Apple, are the ones that disrupt themselves, right? So I know I'm making a very lofty comparison here, but if you don't dream, you don't get anywhere, right? So in the same way that Apple disrupted everyone by bringing out the iPod, right? And that there was obviously portable music players beforehand, but they kind of took that over. And then they decided that wasn't good enough. We're going to actually make our own iPod obsolete by bringing out the iPhone, right? And so I think everyone's got to learn from that way in terms of making something differentiated. And ultimately, what's differentiated is making something different that customers want, right? So if you ask me about the industry, obviously within the existing categories, right, there's always new things to be done, and people are doing those things in terms of bringing out new ingredients or twists on existing products. Where I see is exciting, there's a whole bunch of people doing really innovative stuff on the non-alcoholic side. Right, and I, for example, we're not in that category, but I drink lot of non-alcoholic beer because I love the fact that I can have a guilt-free beer on a weekday when I'm still, maybe it's 7 o'clock and I'm still working, but I can have something that relaxes me, right? Similarly, that in a way is a new category, taking something brilliant, which everyone loves, and saying, let's do something completely different with it. Let's take the alcohol out. We're trying to do that in a different way, which is saying everyone loves these existing categories of products. What if we make a kind of tangential category of product, which at the time people may not, especially on the kind of at home consumption market, don't understand necessarily or don't realize they want or need, but then make it accessible. And so, how do we make that accessible? We first give it to the best brains in the industry in terms of these bartenders, the best bartenders in London, and get them to make amazing cocktails. And they understand these products immediately. We go into a bar, we tell them we're serving what we're serving. They understand it immediately. There's immediate kind of customer acceptance. But then they transcend that down to their customers in the bars. And then similarly, in terms of our products on the website and making simple serves, whether it's putting something like a yuzu and tonic, which is very simple to make, or something more complicated, like one of my favorites is the jalapeno Tommy's margarita. But it's making it fun and allowing people to experiment based on their comfort level, sorry, in their own home. I said this to my wife the other day. I've probably learned more in the last 2.5 years than I probably learned 5 years in my previous job, and it's because I've kind of feel like I've got not just one but kind of three new things, right? And so one is it's a new industry, right? And so it doesn't matter how much you think you know drinking or you think you know alcohol or you think you're cool because you go to nice places and bars, but you really don't know the industry. And so that's I'm still learning that, right? And so it's wonderful that I've had people around me that I've managed to get to know over time, including yourself at Tonic magazine, that have helped nurture me and improve my knowledge, improve my network, improve my understanding of the industry. So number one is it's brand new. Number two is I've never ran a company before. Now, I thought that part would be okay because you know what? I was used to advising companies before, so how hard can it be to run one? But it's very difficult. And it's extremely challenging. It's extremely exciting. But running a company and running your own team and motivating a team is really difficult, but it's also very rewarding. And I think you can come from a big company which has all the structures in place, and you can think you're doing team meetings and team reviews, or you know how to, do benchmarks or plan ahead. But it's very different when it's your own. And I guess that comes to the last part, which is the buck really does stop with you in this new role, right? So it doesn't matter how much responsibility you think you had in your previous role. Bottom line is, it works both ways. Sometimes when there's a really big decision to make, you kind of have to make it on your own. Now, I do rely heavily on the people around me, noticeably my wife as well. I often seek counsel from her, on a daily basis. But ultimately, the final decision kind of rests with the founder. And on the other side, if there's something on the nitty gritty side and there's no one to do it, well, guess what? You're doing it. And so you ended up doing both the really kind of difficult stuff in terms of making hard decisions, but also some of the less glamorous stuff. When sometimes you just got to literally and metaphorically roll up your sleeves and get things done. So all of them are great, and I can probably give you recommendations for each one. But if you ask me what my absolute favorite serves are, it would probably be the yuzu in our yuzu Negroni recipes on the website, or the jalapeno in the Tommy's margarita I just mentioned. And then sometimes you just want to kick back and have something simple, and you don't want to have to worry about mixing things and making things. And so in terms of the simple serves, I love the yuzu, the jalapeno, and the beetroot with tonic. The black tea, the beetroot, and the jalapeno go great in a Collins. Soy sauce goes great in a Mary. The vanilla and Coke, vanilla and ginger beer. There's obviously way more complex things you can do with the vanilla, but sometimes the simpler serves, the easier serves can be the best ones. Currently, you can find our products, first of all, for the at-home market, you can find us online. So our website, distill.com, we have all the products, all our core products available to purchase. And we also have a section there called Our Drinks where you can check out recipes to do at-home mixology. In terms of where you can find us outside, we only launched in July, but we're proud to say we're already in a number of really cool venues. So we're in the One Aldwych Hotel, we're in the Experimental Cocktail Club, we're in the Henrietta Hotel, we're in the Sun Street Hotel, we're in Bottle Cocktail Shop, and we're adding venues. So I can't talk about all of them publicly just yet, but we're already going into a Michelin-starred restaurant in central London. And we've got a really exciting collaboration launching at the end of this month. That's end of November, with a really cool brand, which we can talk more about in the future. And then we have a pipeline of, a long pipeline of up to 50 clients actually, but we're working our way through slowly. And so currently, in terms of venue size, very London focused, but we are rapidly looking to change that. Plans for the future are to, I guess, continue improving our products, right? We're still at the start of our journey. And I think we constantly want to learn from our customers and the different types of customers. And so what I mean by that is working with the bartenders and the community at large to see how we can make our existing products better, but also what other new products we can bring to market. So we are developing 3 spirits as well that are coming out hopefully next year. At the same time, one of the core parts of the business is bespoke. And so we're constantly challenging ourselves with what new wacky ingredients we can distill and bring to market. And there's a few things I hope to be able to talk about, or the team can talk about in a few weeks' time. And then there's international expansion and fundraising, right? And so getting the capital to grow the team, but also to expand abroad. Although we are a young company, we're already getting some of our clients wanting to take us abroad with them. So, probably the next step would be hopefully something in New York and the US more broadly. But we've got to walk before you run. So we're kind of really focusing on executing. And as someone said to me yesterday, actually, which I was at a conference and I thought was quite insightful, they said, a vision without execution is just a hallucination. So I can't take credit for that because it was another founder that made that comment, but I thought that was quite good. So I got to constantly remind myself that as much as me and the team of Max and Michael are constantly dreaming about the future, we've really just got to focus every day on execution and making sure we're serving our customers, the ones that are right in front of us first.